Hi there, my name is Phila Beck and you're Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share and subscribe and ring that little bell so you're notified when new videos drop. And if you are enjoying this content, I ask you if you could just hit that subscribe button. I don't know why, but that really makes my life so much better. I get a little tinkle of excitement every time someone subscribes. Somebody subscribed yesterday called with the username Avon. So all I can say is, Avon, if you're watching, oh, I salute thee. That is a good person to reference in your handle. And if you like Doctor Who, which I assume you do because you're watching this video, I'm giving away Doctor Who DVDs. The first one, well, the next one I'm giving away is going to be on probably Sunday on the on the TARDIS zone, as long as Noel is okay with it. I'm going to do a giveaway every week for as long as Doctor Who's running. Next giveaway is going to be Dalek War! 73 adventure with Jon Pertwee and the Master and the Daleks. 2 stories, Frontier in Space and Planet of Daleks. All you have to do to win is like the channel and comment with the hashtag, Dalek War? The instructions are in the video notes. And sometimes the good Lord looks down upon thee and smiles and gives one a gift. I was going to do a video today, which I was really struggling with, because I had an idea in the shower the yesterday, which is where a lot of my ideas come from. I was thinking about the 13th Doctor, and I was thinking about again, like what it's not enough that I say I really not enjoying her portrayal. I'm trying to analyze it to the nth degree what it is I don't like, and one thing I really don't like is what some of the fans do like. It's her impulsiveness. It's the way they're playing her, that she reacts entirely emotionally to anything without putting much thought into anything. Like, I don't know. In Twice Upon a Time, still Jodie Whittaker's, I think, best episode, Twice Upon a Time, when she first regenerated and she tapped the TARDIS controls and blew up the TARDIS and was sucked out. We all thought that was just a delightful introduction to the 13th Doctor. And, it was like some post-regenerative trauma, some mistake that happened. No. Pretty much the Doctor. She's kind of clueless and stupid. It's how they're writing and playing her, which is weird. In general, there is a, social justice warrior, blue checkmark twittered progressive Taliban army weird trope, which they do over and over again, which is they insist on putting women in positions of power in drama, and then they go on to make them thoroughly incompetent. So I was going to talk about the different natures of masculinity and femininity. I was going to bring in some Kabbalistic concepts, but then dumped right on my nose was this article from The Guardian yesterday. The Guardian is a lefty-lovey newspaper read by most of the intelligentsia in England, and it's kind of like the bingo of fandom menace hating stupid, but it did highlight a real problem that Doctor Who's in now, in that it's alienated a lot of its core fan audience, and I think it's alienated a lot of its core fan audience. But now, when they're doing a course correction, they're also alienating the blue checkmark Twitter Taliban audience as well, which this article really highlights. So it was in The Guardian on June 8th. The headline is "Too Woke? Nope, Doctor Who is more offensive than ever." If you want to look for it, that is by Jack Hudson. Okay, so I'm just going to read it through with you. Doctor Who returned last week with another first. Sacha Dhawan's casting as the first person of colour to play the Doctor's arch nemesis, the Master. Now, forgive me if I'm wrong. Honestly, forgive me if I'm wrong. Wasn't Roger Delgado supposed to be kind of Arabic or Indian? Either he was supposed to be a person of colour. I have no idea if he was, but he kind of looked a bit, swarthy to me. So I don't know where this is coming from, saying that it's that this is the first. I think the origins of the character was, I'm looking up on my action figures now, and he is. Let me pull it down. Fine. This is a great example. This is the John Sin action figure. Okay. White as a white loaf. Okay, I've got to just clean some dust off. This is the Delgado action figure. Let me put both up together. One's a bit darker, one's a person of colour, aren't they? Duh! So he's not the first. But don't get me wrong, I think he did a great job. I actually kind of like this master. I'd like to see more of him. I'd like to see him do more stuff. And I really like to see him in Big Finish because why not? Why not? I want to be supportive whenever I can. So yeah, first stupidity, and again, focusing on skin color just seems to me to be the height of racism. The decision was met. I'm back to the article. The decision was met broadly. Decision was broadly met with praise. Yeah, I just praised it. But in darker corners of the internet, the argument that the show had become too politically correct rages on. It doesn't rage. It just continues. 2PC became the familiar jibe leveled at the sci-fi hit. It's not a hit, okay? It's hemorrhaging viewers, and it has been since it started, and it continues to be. 4.88. 4.6. If it keeps up this trajectory, we're gonna have the lowest audience average for a season since the return, maybe ever. I really don't. I haven't even looked at those figures. Well, it's not a hit. Shut up. Since 2018, with Jodie Whittaker became the 13th Doctor, and the new showrunner Chris Chibnall took up the mantle, as well as the first woman to play the title role. The series featured two BAME companions. Like, oh god, these what's it called again? These abbreviations are so incredibly obnoxious. BAME, BAME, means Black. Was it Black, Asian, Minority, Ethnic? Oh, Jesus. Like, why do people have to keep up making different names for not white? Why? It's like, why are they obsessed with it? I mean, I'm telling you, these guys are the racists. No, not. Yeah, I'm more scared of these guys than the KKK and the National Front. These guys are bonkers. Companions. So you had two BAME companions, and episodes about Rosa Parks. Okay, I can see how that the Rosa Parks episode was nearly good. If you had a real sci-fi writer working with you, if you had a decent villain with a plan that made sense, other than I don't like black people. Oh God, just saying it sounds so stupid. That could have worked. So yeah, the Rosa Parks episode, I thought her casting was good. I love seeing Dr. Luther King. I like seeing Martin Luther King in anything, because I think he's probably one of the most important figures in the last 100 years. Yeah, and I think this is a complete aside. I think had he not been assassinated, he would have become president in the 70s, and I think he would have been a freaking awesome president as well. And I think he would be turning in his grave if he saw what was being done in his name right now. Anyway, so Rosa Parks and the partition of India. I don't know anything about the partition of India. All I do know about it is I don't trust Chris Chibnall to educate me about it at all. Written by Doctor Who's first ever BAME writers. Oh, okay. It should be a non-entity. No one's not hiring anybody over their skin color. Okay? At least I don't believe so. And if they are, that's reprehensible. Oh my God! But I don't think anyone's not hiring somebody over their skin color. I think they are hiring people because of their skin color, which is equally reprehensible. The show quickly found itself embroiled in a culture war. Yes, which they took a pointed position within the culture war, with talk of the apparent political correctness becoming commonplace. This is the other thing that these blue checkmark Twitter Taliban do. They try to pretend that the thing that they love about Doctor Who doesn't exist. The only reason they love it is because it's painfully woke. Okay, that's the only reason they love it, and they don't even love it enough to watch it, as we can see from the audience figures. Whittaker and Chibnall were forced to defend the show against these claims. No, they went into hiding. They didn't. They didn't say anything before the series began. Oh wait. You're saying before the series began? This series began? Yeah, fine. Still, they didn't do it. They went into hiding. Whittaker reminded viewers there's still racism in our current society. Yeah, I made a video about that because it's entirely disingenuous. Yes, there is still racism in this current society. There is also fat on Kate Moss's body. Doesn't mean she's fat, yes, there is racism in every society. The Western world, America and England are the least. I'm going to say America. America is the least racist empire or country that has ever existed in the history of our species. Let's just say it again. The least racist country that's existed in the history of our species, and that they are our cultural leaders in the West. They just in the Western world. So yeah, while racism still does exist in our society, it doesn't. That existence does not define the society, as you, Jody, would like to pretend it does. Fine, ever onwards. And Chimnall added that the Doctor and the show are beacons of compassion and empathy. Empathy is something that these blue checkmark Twitter Taliban love to bandy around. They like to use the word empathy, and I found them to have little to none. There are people who are in the same camp as me who can't stand the current Doctor Who or Star Trek or Star Wars. But I find, generally speaking, I think there are some who are have bad behavior and bully and attack. Far more bullying and attacking other people on the other side, the Jodie fans who cannot cope with any like any criticism of anything whatsoever. I got banned from a Facebook group. By the way, I made a video about it. It's kind of a funny video. You can find it. The guy who banned me commented on it, so you should go and see who he is. It's kind of funny. But I got banned from a Facebook group, a Doctor Who Facebook group, because the guy in question put up a bad meme of Jodie holding up the psychic paper and saying, "I'm not going anywhere." Yeah, really just trying to upset the fans who really wanted to go somewhere. To which I commented, and this is why he banned me. He said, "Don't worry, Jodie, don't worry, Jodie, the audience is going instead." And this guy had a meltdown. He didn't know it was going to happen. He didn't know I had a YouTube channel, so he didn't know it was going to happen in public. We were getting on social issues. Where are we? Darwin's debut, for example, was soured by... Okay, so now we're getting to the problem that Doctor Who's in. That it alienated people by being too woke and continues to be slightly too woke, but I can put out whether it was alienating people. First, they alienated me every last year, okay? And I think they're going to double and triple, quadruple down on it. I mean, they did a bit in the first two episodes, but... I think now it's just like, hey, you've already alienated us, and you need to. You're doing your bit. You did your best to put out a good story. I think it was really just let down by Whittaker's casting, because I think you just cast Whittaker because of how she pees, because she's a woman, not because she was right for the job, which I think is the problem with the show in general. Like hiring the BAME writers just because they're BAME. No, hire writers because they're good. Hire Gareth Roberts. Gareth Roberts understands Doctor Who. He's written several fantastic Doctor Who's, but no, he was cancelled by the Jodie fans. Anyway, the one fine. So Dwan's debut, for example, was soured by a scene where the Doctor weaponized his race against him. This episode, Spyfall, saw the new Master posing as a Nazi soldier in German occupied Paris. Listen, the truth is, the Nazis and the Arab world pretty much aligned. The one looks like he comes from the Arab world. He would not have had a problem, So it actually just showed a level of stupidity with trying to understand history and way things were. The improbability of an Asian man being able to do this explained by the perception filter device commonly used in the Whovian universe. I think it was it David Tennant who first used that in his last one. No, the perception filters going back. I think it's modern Who, to cause others to see what they want to see. In this case, hiding the Master's ethnicity from the Nazis. Yeah, again, the Nazis were allied with brown-skinned people. It's just the way it was. Also, if you look at Hitler, just picture Hitler. He looks exactly like how he described the Jews to look: short, dark. He basically had that same kind of look, which is kind of ironic when you think about it. The Doctor escaped the Master by framing him as a British double agent and jamming his filter, leaving him to both the retribution and racism of the Nazis. Now, the blue checkmark Taliban love to talk about Nazis. They love to talk about Nazis because if you ever listen to the channel Comics Matter with your boy Zach, he very accurately describes them as baby-brained imbeciles that need constant reaffirmation that they're very good people. So that's where you go, Nazis are bad, right? Nazis are bad. Oh, yeah. Yes, Nazis are bad. No, Nazis are really bad. Really, really bad. I'm right. Nazis are really... Yes, Nazis are really bad. No, Nazis are really, 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 really bad. Yes. And that's what's happening today. And that's when they go bonkers. Anyway. It's not the first time the writing of ethnic minority characters seemed questionable. Sharon D. Clarke's character Grace O'Brien and the mother of Lenny Henry characters Daniel Barton, played by Blanche Williams, were both fridged almost immediately after being introduced. Okay, so now this guy's saying he's giving the blue checkmark Twitter Taliban point of view that not only must you have a checklist based on people's ethnicity, skin color, sexual orientation, and other things that are completely irrelevant and racist to look at. Not only must you have them, but then you cannot have any of them experience anything bad whatsoever. It just So now again, the blue checkmark Taliban are mad at Chris Chibnall. Oh, okay, but because they got killed because he had the temerity to kill people who had a skin color who you thought shouldn't be killed. In a Radio Times interview in December, broadcast prior to his appearance in the new special, he said the bosses would rather have a dog do Doctor Who than a black person. Is that the case? Yeah, I don't know them. Maybe it will be. Is that the case? I was really expecting a actor called Patterson Joseph to be cast as the 11th Doctor instead of Matt Smith. He was a hotly tipped rumor. He was in the first season of the show, The Leftovers, and he was in the 1990s Neverwhere. Neil Gaiman adaptation on BBC2, playing the Marquis de Carabas, and he was in the reboot of Survivors from about 10 years ago. Fantastic actor. He would have been a great Doctor. I don't think that he's the case, but I really don't. Lenny Henry knows the people working in the TV industry far better than me. If he says that's the case, that's the case. But I think it's a bit weird. I mean, why would anybody care? If it's the right actor, it's the right actor. Elsewhere, there's an often apathetic engagement with the political climate. In the final episode, or in the finale of Chibnall's inaugural series, the Doctor's companion, played by Bradley Walsh, told the Doctor that he wanted to kill Tim Shaw, a genocidal alien who had murdered his wife. He wasn't genocidal. I mean, I guess he grew up to he worked up to wanting to take over the universe, but he was a really pathetic villain that Graham chose not to kill, rather than shoot in the foot. That's not a terrifying universal domination villain. So fine. The Doctor argued that even if done in self-defense, this would make Graham the same as Tim Shaw. Well, that's moronic. What, we have to let ourselves be killed? I guess that's why I'm guessing Whittaker and Chibnall probably hate Israel along with the rest of their socialist point of view. Because it's always a way that when Israel is ever attacked, then do anything at all to protect us, like anything at all. Anything. It's always like they always say, "Oh, you use disproportionate force, you evil barbarian." They expect us to let ourselves be murdered. If somebody comes at you trying to stab you with a knife, which they do often in my country, you're not allowed to run away, or you're not allowed to try and stop them by attacking them. You're not allowed to shoot them. If somebody comes at you running you with a knife, you're not allowed to pull out your gun and shoot them. That's wrong, according to these morons. No. You can defend your life. That's okay. But according to the Doctor, no. Because, again, this goes back to my point this video was going to be about. This doctor's an idiot. It's just simply an idiot. It was especially uncomfortable message at the time. Those fighting, when those fighting fascists were often condemned as being as bad as the fascists themselves. Yes, you are. You're condemned as being as bad as fascists themselves because you not only, I think you are worse than the people you're fighting, because people you're fighting aren't fascists. The people you're fighting are just people who want legal immigration. Immigration to be legal and fair. That doesn't sound like, I want to make concentration camps and throw people into it. And so the people were fighting that racism, that fascism, which didn't exist, were worse. But and now the writer goes on to prove my point. For example, in Donald Trump's remark after Charlottesville, when he equated white nationalists with those speaking out against them. Yeah, okay, so that was a lie. That was a lie in a national newspaper by a journalist. He was actively trying to mislead you. Maybe because he's been misled and he's never thought to look at it, or maybe because he actually wants to mislead you. If you're going to bring Charlottesville down in that very same speech, which he said he was praising white nationalists, which he wasn't. That whole protest was, there was a group of people upset about monuments being torn down, and a group of people upset that monuments were not being torn down. Both sides were usurped by darker forces. The white nationalists joined the pro-monument people, and Antifa joined the anti-monument people. Yeah, and then chaos ensued. In the speech they're referencing, in the very next freaking paragraph, Donald Trump, clearly condemned white supremacy, white nationalism, and the KKK personally. White nationalists hate Donald Trump. Racists hate Donald Trump. It's just the way it is. But why let the truth get in the way of a piece of news propaganda, which it clearly is. Another episode focused on Kablam, an Amazon-like delivery company. The story reflected the real-world mistreatment of workers, but while many viewers expected a satire on exploitative capitalism, the real villain was revealed to be the maintenance man who was killing in protest at the poor work conditions. Yeah, that's just because they're not very good writers. Okay, that wasn't making a political point. That was just making the point, I'm not very good at writing this. Although I'd say Kablam was probably one of the strongest episodes of season 11. Not really saying much. It's like being, the most humanitarian Nazi. Yeah, okay. Okay, this led the Doctor to complain, systems aren't the problem. Just people who use and exploit the system, thus refusing to engage with the real world suffering. I wonder, are you engaging with... I would love to know how this guy felt about Ricky Gervais's monologue of the Golden Globes, where he called everybody hypocrites because they claim about diversity, they care about diversity, inclusion, and all these things, and yet they work for companies that have underage sweatshops making phones for them. I would love to see how this guy goes on. What's his name again? Let me see if I can find his name. Jack Hudson. Jack Hudson, famous moron. Not famous moron. Obscure moron. Doctor Who has had a strong history of LGBT plus representation since return in 2005, including a series-long lesbian companion, Bill Potts. Oh, was she a lesbian? She didn't mention that. That was a joke. She mentioned it all the time, and she would have been a great companion had she not mentioned it every freaking time. It just seems so peripheral and tacked onto that character. However, I will say that season, was it? That season 10 was, I think, Capaldi's strongest by far, and I really, really like Bill Potts. It just, it was like, was it the year or two before when, there was two in season 8 when Clara was dating whatever the guy's name is, the guy who, and he kept saying, I was a soldier, I was in the military, I was a soldier. Like, yes, we get it. Yeah, Bill Potts, you're a lesbian, I get it. You said it lots of times. We'll continue with the executive producer Matt Stevens promised that the show's LGBT plus representation would continue with characters from across the spectrum. However, representation in Chibnall's here has been severely lacking so far. What? Okay, you might not notice, but Whittaker's Doctor has an LGBTQ plus flag on her freaking chest, okay? How much more on board can she freaking be than that? But I digress. Has been severely lacking so far. Characters repeatedly been introduced as LGBT plus, only to promptly be killed off. Oi, Lano! Oh no! They introduced gay characters and they killed them. It's Doctor Who, you freaking moron! In the 2019 New Year special, a security guard referred to his boyfriend in his second line and was killed off by Daleks just seconds later. Yes, and right there, that encapsulates everything that both sides hate about Doctor Who. That one, you have to have a guy say he's gay. You have to have him say it because it was completely irrelevant to the plot and completely irrelevant. And then the other side says, "Oh my God, you just killed somebody who's of a privileged class. You can't do that." Yes. Fine. The most prominent LGBT plus character in the Chibnall Pen episode. Well, he did a show run Torchwood Season 2, which had the very, very, very LGBT plus Captain Jack in it. But okay, let's forget about that. So Chibnall Pen, in a character in a Chibnall Pen episode, Anstorm revealed her sexuality by referring to her dead wife. Yeah, they do that all the time. It's kind of boring now. This is an unnerving pattern and a common trope in media representation of LGBT plus. Yes, we want to represent them as people, as human people who can live and die, people who are the same as any other person. But no, this idiot wants to represent them as Mary Sues, wants to say as perfect people. An episode featuring an alien giving birth was criticised as being part of the PC agenda, when in reality it felt more like a lazy attempt at trans inclusion. Yeah, that's the same thing. Yes, it was. It was both. It was a lazy attempt at trans inclusion, and it was also an example of PC agenda. The PC agenda was them lazily attempting to have trans inclusion. The reason it was lazily attempted is because they are bad at their jobs. The fans decrying the show as 2PC have been lost. Yeah, and it's a loss that should not be mourned. Yeah, sod off. Leave us alone. We don't want you here. But the show's many progressive fans, many loyal progressive fans too. The Doctor may have been a beacon of compassion and empathy. Really, again, empathy. I haven't seen Jodie fans show much empathy at all. But too many of us are wondering where it's gone. Oh! Well, that was agonizing. Oh my God, 28 minutes in? That's a long video. So I'm sorry for rambling so long. But you know what? This is just something I kind of had to talk about. So I did. My name is Sheila Beck, the Rabbi from Another Planet. Please like, share, subscribe. Let me know what you think. Do you agree with this guy? Do you disagree with me? Let me know. I always try and it normally takes me like half a day to a day to reply to your comments, but I really like doing it. A couple of times some people have replied, and they've disagreed with me strongly, and they wanted to support Jodie, right? So I engage with them, and I'm looking forward for a back and forth, but yeah, they just vanished. So like, share, subscribe, comment. Don't forget the hashtag Dalek War, and have a fantastic day. Thanks for listening.